Bryan Harsin and his assistants' West Coast connections are coming through strong for Auburn football. Auburn's new staff features coaches who have coached in California, Idaho and Washington and who have recruited all over the area. Head coach Bryan Harsin mentioned in his very first press conference that he wanted to expand Auburn's recruiting footprint, and he and his assistants successfully made an impression on a number of players from across the country. Thursday's lineup of recruiting visits featured players from Arizona and Washington, and all the players mentioned how they felt more at home knowing there were guys on staff who were familiar with their hometowns. One walked away convinced the SEC is the right place for him. Here's what some of the recruits said about their experience at Auburn. After visiting Auburn and Alabama, Morrison feels pretty set on the SEC. He said visits to both schools were similar, but the combined effect was that he wants to come to the SEC now. The SEC is far from Arizona, where he lives now, but his family's familiarity with defensive coordinator Derek Mason helped him feel more comfortable. His father and Mason grew up together as teenagers. So my dad trusts him, I trust my dad, Morrison said. Morrison will be taking official visits to Oregon, Washington and Notre Dame. After Thursday, Auburn probably earned one of his two remaining spots for official visits. The conversations between Morrison and Auburn have been about getting to know each other so far. Morrison is impressed with Harsin's vision and he said cornerbacks coach Zac Etheridge feels like family. So ball talk will come later, Morrison said. Wayne already had a connection with some of the Auburn coaches from back when they were Broncos and went to his high school games. The 2023 recruit said it's crazy that they were in Washington State and now they're in Auburn. It definitely helped it to feel more like home. Wayne also visited Alabama and the University of Washington and said they all feel pretty much the same right now. The draw to the SEC would be that you play the best of the best. That's important, Wayne said. You know, it gets you to the NFL. Wayne isn't in a big hurry to decide on one school from the 26 who have offered him. To stay in the running, Auburn has to stay in touch, tell the truth and maintain the family environment, he said. Presley's offers just went up to no. 17. The 2023 recruit received an offer from Auburn during his visit, his second in-person offer ever. Alabama was the first. Out of the schools he's visited on a whirlwind tour of the country, Auburn stood out because of its organized schedule that allowed him to go in depth about the program and its goals. It also has ties to the West Coast and Washington, specifically.